Welcome to Adventures of Kendall, and today we're going to one of my favorite places in Los Angeles, the Petersen Automotive Museum. Let's go check it out. Oh, this is gonna be a fun day. For you see, prior to me liking trains, I've been a car guy. And since this episode is coming out around Mother's Day, I want to make a special shout out to my mother for taking me on my early adventures. Thanks, Mom. Anyway, let's get to the story of the Petersen Automotive Museum. Robert Peterson was born in East Los Angeles in 1926. He learned about cars by working with his father, who was an auto mechanic. After graduating from Barstow High School, he served in the Army Air Corps during World War II. After the war, Pete left Barstow and found work at MGM Studios as a publicist in Los Angeles. After being laid off due to staff cuts, Pete and some other ex-MGM staff started Hollywood Publicity Associates. In 1947, the company was commissioned to publicize an exhibition of hot rods for the following winter. In doing so, Peterson realized there was no media specific to hot rods or hot rodding in general. Seeing an opportunity, Peterson and Robert Lindsay, another associate, left Hollywood Publicity Associates and started development of Hot Rod magazine. He was 21 years old at the time. Crazy, I know. The first run of Hot Rod magazine was 5,000 copies. Peterson and Lindsay sold the new magazine on the steps of the Los Angeles Hot Rod Exhibition, the show they were initially contracted to publicize. The magazine debut was a success, and by 1949, monthly sales exceeded 50,000 copies. Pretty soon, Hot Rod magazine was the go-to publication of the hot rod scene in Southern California, as well as across the country.
Wally Parks, president of NHRA, talking to Mr. Ed Cole, general manager of Chevrolet, and Robert Peterson, publisher of Hot Rod magazine, with Mr. Tex Colbert, president of Chrysler Corporation.
With the success of Hot Rod magazine came great connections within the automotive industry and more magazines to be published by the Peterson Publishing Company, such as Four Wheel and Off-Road, Motor Trend, Car Tunes, and Motorcyclists, amongst the other 14 titles published by the Peterson Publishing Company. They also published magazines like Tiger Beat and Guns and Ammo. Peterson would later sell the company in 1996. The creation of the Petersen Automotive Museum would begin in the 1970s when Peterson operated the Peterson Motorama Cars of the Stars on Hollywood Boulevard near the Grauman's Chinese Theater. Approximately 15 years later, Peterson proposed an idea for an auto museum to the board of directors of the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County. That museum, by then, already encompassed 66 cars and motorcycles in their vehicle collection. Peterson offered a lead gift of $15 million to begin the project. Ultimately, this would lead to the creation of the Petersen Automotive Museum, which was founded by Robert and Margie Peterson on June 11, 1994. The $40 million museum is owned by the Petersen Automotive Foundation. The museum was originally housed in the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County before being moved to an historic department store. Peterson chose the site due to the windowless design as an ideal place for a museum, allowing artifacts to be displayed without harmful exposure to sunlight. The building's current facade was designed by Cole Peterson Fox in 2015. during a $125 million renovation. The museum has over 100 vehicles on display in its 25 galleries, all of which are on 3 separate floors: the ground level, second level, and third level. The remaining half are located in a vault in the basement level. Let's go inside and check out the Petersen Automotive Museum. Now down here at the lobby, there are plenty things to see or do here, such as the gift shop, where you can get fine automobile-related merchandise. There's also the Myers Makes Cafe, a great place to get a bite to eat while spending some time at the Petersen Automotive Museum. Speaking of seeing the cars, let the tour begin. Up here on the 3rd floor, here we'll see the general history of the automobile, concept cars, or unique vehicles from different periods of history, including the 1934 Terraplane Cab Pickup Express, the POP-50, the world's smallest production car, a 1974 Brubaker sports van, and the 1966 Myers Manx Doom Buggy. Built by Bruce F. Myers on a shortened chassis of a Volkswagen Beetle, this little car dominated the dune racing scene in its time. And to prove it's the real deal, here's Bruce Myers' autograph. Way cool. Now over here is a small exhibit about the earliest evolutions of the automobile. This includes an 1886 Benz patent motor wagon, a 1900 Smith roundabout, the oldest surviving gasoline-powered car in Los Angeles, and this nice red Cadillac. Other exhibits in this room include this collection of tires, showcasing the evolution and types were made throughout the history of the automobile. There's also smaller exhibits, like this collection of accessories such as car seats and mobile phones, the form of which really fascinate me considering that old cars had bench seating. There's also this case showing many oil cans and prizes won at car shows. And speaking of car shows, here's an exhibit about the Motorama. In here, you'll see some classic concept cars that were at showcase at this event. This includes a pair of 1955 LaSalle 2 concept cars, the fully restored LaSalle 2 Coupe, and the unrestored LaSalle 2 Sedan. At the Petersen Automotive Museum, you may never know what or who you may run into. Ah, the Hollywood car collection. One of the highlights of coming to the Petersen Automotive Museum is seeing cars that were used in movie or television work. This includes the Batmobile, Lightning McQueen, Christine, and so on. There are certainly cars here that will put a smile on your face because of the movies or shows that you may have seen them in. Let's get down to the 2nd level to see more of the movie cars, some of which are quite exciting to look at. Whether it's Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds, the DeLorean Time Machine from Back to the Future, the Gran Torino from Starsky and Hutch, a heavily modified Bedford C2 van that was used as the Mystery Machine in the live-action Scooby-Doo movie. And here's one of my favorites, Herbie. Debuting in Disney's 1969 masterpiece, The Love Bug, Herbie's been a favorite since I was a little kid, and it's always a blast to see him, especially here at the Petersen Automotive Museum. After spending some time with the Hollywood cars, let's check out Splendor and Speed, the treasures of the Petersen. This exhibit room showcases the treasures of this whole museum, special cars that are very unique within the collection. This includes the world's most famous hot rod, the McGee Roadster. This car is revered for introducing an aesthetic that is now prototypical of hot rod design. The popularity of this car skyrocketed after it appeared in a cover of Hot Rod magazine. In 1956, its owner, Bob McGee, sold the Roadster to hot rod enthusiast Dick Strickfield, whose connection to the movie industry led to the car being leased to film and television directors for various productions. This car was depicted in the 2014 USPS commemorative stamp series entitled Hot Rods Forever. Its last owner was Bruce Myers, the creator of the Myers Banks that we saw earlier. Today, it's part of the permanent collection here at the Petersen Automotive Museum. The next exhibit worth highlighting is their collection of motorcycles. Racing or street, they have a unique collection of different types that were made over the years, including this Hiawatha Doodlebug scooter. Now in this unique room is the Corvettes in competition, showcasing the racing history of Chevy's Corvette. This includes this 1976 Corvette called the Spirit of Le Mans and the 2001 Earnhardt Rolex 24 Corvette. This was part of a 4-driver team that included both Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Jr. Speaking of fast cars, like any museum, the Petersen would rotate exhibits. They were having a special exhibit about Porsche and their racing heritage. And this includes this 1956 Porsche 550 Spyder. And here is the Rob and Melanie Walton Discovery Center, a fine interactive area for kids to have fun in. This includes playing with the Hot Wheel tracks, assembling their own Lego cars, or drawing eyes on a Pixar Cars character as part of a sponsorship between Disney and the Petersen Automotive Museum. There's also a couple cases showing little items that would have entertained you while on a car trip. Our last stop of the tour is on the ground floor and is called Eyes on the Road, the art of the automotive landscape. A great place to check out fine art inspired by the automobile. There's also fascinating concept cars in this room, including this 1956 Astronome. There's also this great example of a car used at Disneyland's Autotopia attraction. And that was our tour of the Petersen Automotive Museum here in Los Angeles. I hope you had a fun time. See you later, folks, and may your gifts bless the world.